Welcome back everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 1973 Volkswagen Thing. So this now has 1,194 horsepower, 933 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.2 litre twin turbocharged flat 6 engine. The car itself now weighs 2,037 pounds, has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.88 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.8 seconds, and go to a top speed of 215 miles an hour. So obviously that is a lot more power than what it had originally. We're talking more than 1,100 extra horsepower and about 850 extra pounds-feet of torque. So obviously that is a lot to ask for out of a car that ultimately doesn't weigh all that much more than what it did originally. Also, it never had all-wheel drive or off-road suspension, and yeah, so we're basically asking a lot from what is ultimately a car that was made to be rugged and dependable, but not particularly quick. So yeah, and as you can see, stat-wise, it's fairly solid in terms of everything apart from handling. So especially when it comes to off-road capability, braking, launch, and acceleration. Top speed is good. Obviously, it does have 215 mile/h top speed, but we're really not likely to get up to that kind of speed on this course. But it's nice to have that little bit of leg room in terms of dealing with this course, because you never know, you could easily get up to 180, 190, which you could peg this car back to, but you wouldn't want to be blipping the rev limiter there. Handling wise, yeah, it is a little bit dodgy, and yeah, these kind of vehicles from Volkswagen at the time did not have the best handling in stock form, and it's probably going to still have some of its characteristics from its original state. So yeah, and at the end of the day, it is still rear-engined, so oversteer is more than likely a possibility. Could also roll over, because it is quite high centre of gravity despite having a non-metal roof. So yeah, this could go either way. Could be properly quick, but there is a lot going against it to make you think that it could easily, oh dear, easily be pretty slow. Chief among which is the fact that this car does not feel confidence-inducing whatsoever. The suspension was all over the place there. We've had to use one of our rewinds to try and avoid that rock, but just could not. And I don't want to keep rewinding it, because this car clearly needs, well, has the possibility of needing more than another rewind. So don't really want to be using up any more. The free rewind limit there is purely just to stop us from continually rewinding to try and get an extra second, or continually try and correct mistakes. We'll try it once in terms of correcting a mistake, but outside of that, I'm not going to continually try it. At the end of the day, this fits a car that's at fault more than anything, then yeah, limiting the rewinds is more than justified as far as I'm concerned, because it was the car's fault that we hit that rock. The suspension just went all funny, and I just had no control over it whatsoever, and it just could not really do anything. So yeah, but for now it seems to have calmed itself down a little bit, which is nice to see. But yeah, it's definitely a car that is well beyond its limits. Suspension again, reacting badly to any kind of jump or bump or anything like that. Quite frankly, I'm surprised it survived the biggest jump on this course. Very easy to get the tail out, given the engine's at the back. The car is threatening to fall over. We had a two-wheel moment before there. Feel the whole front of the car lifting up, as well as the massive amount of torque revs up. It all bucks and rides. Oh, I hope we got that checkpoint. Just about. The quickest way for that corner for sure. If you actually own one of these things, and do not drive it above its recommended top speed, because it's wild. At least we got up to more than 140 there, but oh dear. Yeah, figured that would be a case at some point, and that we'd get a bit of oversteer. And by a bit of oversteer, I mean nearly spinning out. Held it a bit better there, so I shouldn't have lost too much time. That's always a fear with these rear-wheel drive, rear-engine cars that were originally rear-wheel drive, is that they will oversteer. Luckily the all-wheel drive is keeping that somewhat in check. If it was still rear-wheel drive, it would be very difficult to keep in a straight line. Come on, nearly to the finish. One last corner. At least did not fall over, even though the car was threatening to at numerous occasions. But yeah, that's easily one of the slowest cars that we've had for a while. Obviously did not help that we had a couple of incidents there, but we ultimately could not help that with the way the car was behaving. So yeah, 3 minutes 31.878 seconds is our final time there. So in comparison to other Volkswagens that we've had on this series, that is more than 12 seconds slower than the SP2, which was actually fairly impressive for a car of its age and type. We're slower than the Santana by more than 11 seconds. The double cab pickup, which is also based on the same kind of platform as this, but that was a lot more controllable. That was more than 10 seconds quicker than this. The ID4 quicker. Pickup LX. The Baja Beetle Scumbug, again based on the same kind of platform as this. The Golf R. Yeah, so every Golf that we've had before has been quicker than this one. And in terms of comparisons to other vehicles, well, it's quicker than a Nissan Pickup Rally Raid, a Morris Mini Traveller, a Ford Super Duty F450, Porsche Taycan Turbo S, Neo EP9, Subaru STI S209, Morris Minor Series 2 Traveller, Renault 8 Gordini, the Mayors Manx 2 litre or 2.0 even EV, the Renault 4L Export, the Hot Wheels Baja Bone Shaker, the Toyota FJ40 and the two Peels. So we are quicker than some cars that were decent but obviously had their issues. But we are obviously slower than other cars that also had their issues, like the Wuling Sunshine S, the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, the Xpeng P7, the Ford F-150 XLT Lariat, the Land Cruiser AT37, and the Ford Super Deluxe station wagon. So yeah, pretty bad to be honest, especially given it's slower than every other Volkswagen that we've had on the series so far. I am surprised it's significantly slower than the double cab pickup, given they are basically the same car. But I think that car might well have had a bit more in the way of weight, so that made it a bit more stable and reined in its power a little bit more. Whereas this, because it weighs so little and has quite a high centre of gravity, and the suspension is still pretty damn shocking, it's yeah, not able to deal with the power or the bumps and the jumps. So yeah, ultimately that's what held it back. Could it have gone quicker? Definitely, but the whole point of this series is to do it one time and one time only. Unless I feel there's a certain vehicle at the end of this series, when we get to the next Forza Horizon game, that I feel could have done significantly better, then we will do a redo episode. But yeah, that's not going to be this car, because ultimately it's not going to be much quicker even without the two accidents that we had. So on the whole, yeah, not great. Hilariously fun to drive given all of the upgrades we've given it, but outside of being entertaining, it's not particularly quick. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.